the Carter Podcast. I'm your host, Carter the Boss. And let's put a poll up. Y'all ready? Let's put this poll up. And it's going to say, let's see, do you have peace from love? Let's see what it do. So what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Carter Podcast. I'm your host, Carter the Boss. You already know what it is, man. I'm out here just living my best life. But I decided, like, tonight, we gonna do something. Let me take this work shirt off real quick, people. Let me just take this work shirt off so it ain't all up in the camera. You know what I'm saying? Take that shirt off real quick so it ain't all up in the camera. All right. Look fat as shit in here. But I ain't, though. All right. So, can you have peace from your loved ones? Let's talk about it. So, as you grow as a person, right? As you grow as a person, you try to figure out, like, what's the best moves for you, in life. You know what I'm saying? You try to grow, and you try to expand your horizon, right? And then there's moments like where the levels change, and you have to be 100% in tune with the fact that some things you do may not resonate with everybody. As you grow, the people around you sometimes won't grow. They'll just stay stagnant because that's just where they want to be. But can you grow without drama? Can you grow without fear? Can you grow without stumbling blocks, as we call them? And the answer to all that is no. You need all that to help you grow. You need all that to help you develop into who you're going to become as a person, right? I look at where I was as a child versus where I am now as an adult, right? When you're a child, you're supposed to have this bubble around you of safety. Like, you have a bubble around you. Um, and then you learn to develop life after that, right? So what happens in life is that you develop this passion of, like, peace and tranquility if you're able to have it, right? If you're able to have it, because not everybody's able to have it when they need it. I think for me, growing up how I grew up in the hood. Like, I grew up where it was like roaches and rats and shit running around. But I never knew that it was like, I never knew that it was weird or different because, like, when you grow up in that kind of environment, it's like normal. It's norm stuff, right? Not saying I had rats and roaches in my house, but, like, I would go to my friend's house and they would have them, or I'll go outside and I would see them just running across the street. Especially in New York, you see it all the time. But as I got older, right, I realized, like, having your own train of thought is very, very important. Thinking for yourself is very important, and it really does a lot for a person's mental who can think for themselves. That's why I ask, like, do you have peace with your loved ones? Because there's a lot of times that the people closest to you, they really don't have that compassion that they should have, right? If you're not doing it, like, I want to say, like, their way, right? We look at how do we get to a place where we can't use each other, right? A lot of men have went to a zone of called quietness. We call it the quiet place. And the reason why it's called a quiet place is because really it takes us a minute to get into thought of being in this place. Why? Because we, throughout our life, have grown to just like, you know what? Let me just argue my way through it or fight my way through it. And now that we're older, we just decided like, I ain't gonna even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not even worth me talking about it. Because in real retrospect, why talk about it if there's nothing's gonna change, right? This is what we think. This is our thing, our mentality. The peace that you want to have around your loved ones is the peace of just having stability around you. I'm a firm believer, like, I don't believe in talking or bringing up the same thing over and over. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, I don't want to hear it because you just sound dumb after a minute. Why is peace so, like, why is it so important? Let me explain to you why it's so important to be at peace. If you can't figure out why something doesn't make sense, you'll never have an ending to it. Man, I gotta tell you something. There's not a moment throughout the day that we don't feel like we're an endangered species. There's not a moment where we don't feel that way. I don't care what color you are. When you leave your house, there's no guarantee you're gonna return, no matter what color you are. Women, I need y'all to understand, like, when you see us out here really just trying to figure it out, stop trying to roadblock us. Because the hardest thing for a man to do is to try to figure something out and somebody's still in their, like, they're standing in the way. So therefore, you have to understand, like, it's not easy for us to open up. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta remember that there will come a time when a man is just like, I'm not discussing this anymore. And you can go. Why do we get to that point? Because we realize that you don't really care about our feelings. You don't really care about our train of thought. You don't really care about where we're coming from. Don't worry, ladies, I'm coming to help y'all out. When it comes to ladies, this is what the problem is. She wants to feel like a woman, but don't know how to not feel like she's a man. And I hate to say it like the way I just said it, but it is what it is. When a woman doesn't know, I don't want to say this to be like, oh, no, he didn't. But yeah, I'm about to say it. She don't know her place anymore. A woman don't know her place anymore. So in order to know her place, she'll say things to try to see, like, if I say something hurtful towards him, right? As long as I get a response from him, I know he cares. But here's the thing about how we go about different things. A man has gotten to a point where he don't really care what you're saying. Because if you've said the same thing for so long, it's one in one ear and out the other. Men have developed into this thing of, yo, let's see where the conversation's going. Disrespect is something that nobody needs to tolerate ever. But there will always be a moment where it's gonna just sound suspect when a man's like, yo, why is this a burden on me every day? Right? You ever been around with somebody and because they don't like their life, they don't want you to like yours? That happens. It happens. Like, I've been around people who, like, they be like, man, you always enjoying your life. That's because I move people out of it that I can't enjoy it with. That's it. I got loved ones like my family and all that. Like, I got people around me, like, I love them, but I love them enough to love them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Like I love him from a distance because if it's one thing I've learned is nobody is going to make you happier than you. Nobody. How you doing? How y'all doing? It's not selfish to want better for yourself. That's not selfish. If I sit down and say, you know what, I'm doing all I can to make everybody around me happy, but I'm not happy, then I'm failing me. I'm failing me miserably. The one thing about it is like when people are trying to go about something one way or another, it has to happen one way or another. So always feel like it matters. There's nothing else that matters when you're trying to be like, you know what, I'm in a position right now where I have to grow without being choked like a weed. There's nothing wrong with disagreements. Disagreements happen all the time. But you know what bugs men more than anything else? And it bugs women is when somebody's bringing up the same conversation all the time. You get tired of hearing it, so you just be like, ah, you done ran out of shit to talk about. Doesn't it doesn't even it doesn't even play the same part. I remember me and my uncle sitting down, right? Me and my uncle sat down, and he told me, he says, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "Go for it." And he says, "When you're being respectful and somebody's disrespecting you, how do you deal with it?" I said, "Truthfully, I don't even pay it no attention." And he said, "That's the wrong move. See, you got to remove disrespectful people. People want you to do what they want you to do, but they don't ever do what you want them to do." And it took me a minute. I had to literally like think about it. Like I had to think about it. Like, wow, that's real talk. Him and my aunt was married forever. Forever. I think in all the years I maybe they had one or two disagreements, but one thing they never did was disrespect each other. And that's what I mean. Like, do you have peace with your loved ones? Because if you got peace with your loved one, you should be able to tell them anything, and it's not an argument. It's not a fight. It's not a battle. Like that's what it means. I tell you like this. Growing up, I used to watch older people. Right? I watch older people just. They would just. I don't know. They just. It was amazing to me how older people. I mean, like grandma, grandpa status, how they had so much love for each other, right? Because they went through so much stuff together. So they knew, like, look, I went through a battle with you, so I'm gonna go ahead and tough this out with you. And they just got this piece of love, right? That people nowadays want but haven't earned. People want that kind of love, but they haven't earned it. Because you can't, let me say this. A man can't be a man if he's not allowed to be one. Uh, and a woman can't be a woman if she's not allowed to be one. So, like where I come from, like I'll never let somebody talk to me so disrespectful that I feel like I gotta take that. Never, never in my life. Because one, I'm not an ugly dude, so I know I don't have to stand for no bullshit. Two, I know that there's a time and a place for every conversation. Three, I'm not living my life for somebody else's approval. I ain't doing that. And that's the way, that's for men or women that feel this way. But anytime you see a man or a woman like literally like trying to belittle somebody else for their own personal gain, like to make themselves feel better, you gotta really look at the inside of a person and be like, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? I know dudes that walk around, they be like, yo, that dude ugly as hell. I said, he might be, but that dude probably more happy with his life than any good looking dude ever gonna be. I see women who talk shit about other women all the time. But those women are probably more happier in their life than what you are in your life. That's the crazy part about it. Like, people be thinking about other people so much that they miss their shot at happiness, like just with themselves, because they're so worried about what other people are doing. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I don't care what other people do. I really don't. I'm happy with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the most cheapest, flyest dude you'll meet. I'm not gonna go out here and be buying all kind of unnecessary stuff when I could just buy what I need. Not what I want, what I need. And be cool. I'm a homebody anyway, so I don't spend a lot of money no way. Yeah, do I collect shoes and all that? Yeah. Yeah. Because I work hard. But one thing I'm learning is like selfish people don't deserve shit. I'm sorry to say it like that, but selfish people don't deserve anything. It's just like nobody can tell me how to deal with my family, right? Like my uncle say, man, you got to remember where you come from, right? So let me break it down. In a Hispanic culture, right? Families stay together forever, right? I'm just follow me. They stay together forever, right? They move out, they come back, they move out, they come back, they stay, they make all kind of noise, they come back, they stick together, right? In the black culture, at some point your parents wake up and say it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go out there and figure it out. Don't come back. It's time for you to go. But in our culture, we say, but never forget to take care of those who took care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself. Hispanic culture, same thing. They move in, take care of them. It usually falls on the strongest sibling or family member. But here's where it looks weird. If you do it and then I do it, it's it's too much, right? So like for me, like my family is very like small circle of who I allow around me. But I know if I got sick, I got like a few nephews that'll take care of me, my nieces will take care of me, but most importantly, my kids will take care of me. Why? Because I did right by them. One thing I'm never going to do is let somebody tell me that me doing the right thing is wrong. Especially if I see them doing the same thing. The only difference is like for example, like my uncle, he is like the dude I can go to and chop it up with him, and he gonna be like, yo, this is what it is. Right, wrong, or the other. But he gonna keep it a buck with me. My father, I can pick up the phone and ring him up and be like, yo, I gotta have a real heart to heart with you. He gonna tell me right, wrong, or the other. But son, the respect factor gotta be there, right? If I, if one of my sons come to me and say, Dad, I gotta talk to you and I need you to like hear me, that means I need to shut up and let him get it all the way out. If you in a relationship and your girl and you are trying to have a conversation, but one of you is over talking the other person, y'all never gonna meet a happy medium. Never, never in life. Because both of y'all just want to be heard. And if one person is the yeller and the other person just like, what the fuck is going on? Like sometimes you get caught off guard with something, you just start thinking like, man, I'm not dealing with this bullshit no more. You gotta know when you're not having peace, and you gotta know when you're dealing with a person that's incapable of bringing the peace. You gotta know that. Friends, family, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, you gotta know when they're incapable of bringing peace to you. They might be capable of bringing peace to somebody else, but they're not gonna be capable of bringing peace to you because they want you to understand that they feel some type of energy. Me being a father, I wake up every day and pray for my kids. I speak to God and I pray every day in my heart that my kids are safe. But one thing that could never, let's go Yankees. One thing that could never happen is I can never be an absent father. And I see a lot of guys play daddy to somebody else's kid, and the girlfriend be like, "Oh man, look, he was great to my kids, but he's trash to his." That's one thing I'll never be. Never in my existence will I treat somebody else's kid better than I treat mine. If I can't treat them exactly the same, then I'll just go ahead and just don't deal with yours, and I'll just deal with mine. That's how it goes. Thank God I ain't never had to go through that, but I'm that type of man. My thing is like nobody understands what a man goes through better than a man who's gone through the same thing. I don't care if a woman will never go through the drama like a man. Never. As far as a man being like, look, man, I gotta be cool for this reason. This gotta be cool. And if you come through doing X, Y, and Z, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Where a woman will tell you like, look, I gotta deal with this, man, and then that's the end of it, right? Never allow nobody to disrupt your peace. Never. Never allow it. A person can't be happy with you 1 minute and then 24 hours later, they're on a whole different vibe. You gotta correct that shit. Like either you gonna respect me or you gonna be without me. That's it. And the one thing about a person who's like, I'm good alone. Once you get a person that's good alone, like I mean alone, like some people need somebody to need them. They need that. No, a person that's been alone can be like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good alone. Like a man that used to be a hoe, if he ain't a hoe no more, but he's still being called a hoe, guess what? He gonna look at you like, bitch, why are you with me? Why are you with me? If I'm all these things, why are you with me? A woman that used to be a slut and she get into it with a dude and he call her a slut and all kind of things, she gonna look at him like, okay, then if I'm a slut, why are you with me? This is things that go through men and women's head. But when you sit down and you say, you ever hear somebody say, man, I know my worth. Your worth ain't shit. Nobody cares what you're worth. We care about the value of a person. Your worth don't mean shit. Nothing. Your worth is like, it got a value on it. Your worth got a price on it. But your value, you set your value. One thing I learned from watching grown-ups throughout my life is like, man, I'll never be a sucker. Never. One thing I can't do is be like, man, you know what? I'm a sucker. The fuck? What I look like being a sucker, bro? I can't be that for nobody. Nobody. The beautiful thing about having a voice is, mean, you can tell somebody when they wronged you. I mean, you wronged me on that. Now they gonna listen? Probably not. Probably not. Somebody always got something to say until you say something about them. And then, ooh, you said that about me? Yeah. Why would you say that about me? Because you need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing in the world is for somebody to make a mistake and say something that ain't real and can't apologize for it. They can't apologize for it. You want to know why? Because they got to realize that they themselves have made a mistake. It don't matter how a person feels about you. It matters how you feel about you. Somebody be like, "Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you," until you do something they don't like. Then it's all kind of bullshit. But what you gotta respect is, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and you're just coming through here just causing havoc for me, nah, I'm not taking that off you. I don't care how much a person love you. Did everybody got a breaking point? You ever see somebody just tell you like, "Well, if I had this, no, if you were this type of person, then it'll be easy." People always want the other person to change. Well, why don't you start with you? Do you have peace from your loved ones? Probably not. Let's see what the polls say. The poll says 75% of y'all said yes, 25% of y'all said no. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's a good number. That's a damn good number. Let's go ahead and that. Like me personally, I have peace in my life. Even when a person tries to argue me down, even when a person tries to tell me this and that and this, I have so much peace in me that whatever they say really don't bother me. It doesn't bother me because it was a moment in my life where I had like some months to myself. Right? I didn't go. I went mountain climbing or rock climbing, not mountain climbing, rock climbing, and I think I need to get back to that because when I would go rock climbing, I was like, "Yo, I'm good out here." It was one of those things where nobody could change how I felt about nature, and I was by myself. The problem comes when you try to go back to what you know, and you know what you know is not good for you, but you hope that it gets better. Men, stop trying to impress those who don't need to be impressed, and women, stop trying to dress like somebody wants you all the time because they don't. They don't. They don't want you all the time. I don't care how much makeup you put on. I don't care how much less clothes you have on. Nobody cares. Like that was a phase that men were like, "Oh, look, she do." That was a phase. We don't care about that. We want the conservative woman. The conservative woman is the best woman. She's covered up. She leaves something to the imagination. Men, you ain't gotta call a woman out her name no more. You ain't gotta do all that. She will destroy you by you trying to match anger with anger. You gotta love yourself first. Somebody told me, say, man, you the happiest dude I know. I said, you know what? I'm happy with me. I walk the streets just to get away from nonsense. I listened to one of my friends. His girlfriend told him, "Man, how come we don't go to the movies and stuff?" He said, "Man, because that means I gotta sit there with you and you don't know how to be quiet." I said, "Well, God damn, she don't know how to be quiet, so you won't take her to the movie." You're like, "Man, she'll try to talk the whole way through that motherfucker, and I want to enjoy it." So I got it. It took me a second to understand where it's coming from, but I got it. Me, I'm a movie person. I love going to the movies. Go to the movies, kick back in the recline chair, watch the movie, enjoy. But you gotta be able to enjoy where a lot of y'all get out of work and y'all dread going home. Y'all dread whatever it is. I don't dread life. One thing I don't want to do is argue about it. So anybody that's arguing around me, I'll tell them like, yo, get the fuck up from around me. My homeboy Stunner was just arguing with his girl yesterday. And you know what? I hung the phone up. Let me hang that up. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And then I called him back. You good? Because you got to check on your people. Sometimes stop counting your blessings and start counting your people. Because you might wake up one day and be missing a person. A person who got so much arrogance in them will never be happy because they going to always have to be that fake to the world. They going to always have to be that fake to the world. I don't give a flying shit what it is. A person who's too arrogant and who thinks they're too pretty, too handsome, they always got to put that facade up for everybody. What you see from me is what you get. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what loved ones say it. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I care about? As long as I know who I am and what I'm doing, that's it. Everybody else don't matter. Don't give a shit. You ain't gotta like me never, but you gonna respect me. People be like, man, I can't believe, man, I got treated like this. I can't. Because you was too scared to tell somebody to relax. Fellas, the good woman is a dying breed. I'm gonna tell you that now. The good woman is a dying breed, just like the good man is a dying breed. But don't let nobody talk to you like you are second class citizen. Love yourself, bruh. Ladies, you don't gotta bear it all for a man to look at you and say, I got respect for you and I love you. You ain't gotta do all that. Somebody told me, man, if I go 50-50 on it, my girl start tripping. Well, then nigga, don't go 50-50 on nothing. Don't pay nothing. Don't pay nothing. You know why? Because a person don't accept 50 from you, dog. She don't deserve to get 100 from you. Not on no bills or nothing else. Hey, those bills were going to be there whether you was there or not. She was going to pay those bills because they was there before you. He was going to have to pay those car notes because he had them before you. Guess what? A person will tell you like, oh, I got to find somebody that can do this for me, do that. No, do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. And one thing before I go, right now, I ask God to bless me with the finances to buy a brand new house. And the way it looks, He gonna bless me real soon. I'm never the type of person to to just bogart anything. But when I get my house shortly, I'm gonna have my house shortly. I'm gonna have family get-togethers at my house because I feel like a person that has family get-togethers is a person who loves to make sure his people are good. Some people can't go on this journey with me. They got to go on that journey with somebody else because I see how people act right now, and how you act right now shows me a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a position now where if I can't be around you in love, I won't be around you in hate. Not me. Not me. Because I deserve to smile every day. I deserve to laugh every day. You deserve to smile every day. You deserve to laugh every day. But you don't deserve to bring the drama every day. If y'all got somebody who's not completing you, then delete them. Delete them. See, sometimes it's the other person, it's not you. Sometimes it's the other person. They can't help but to have hatred in their heart. It's just in them. But they'll fake it for the world, not knowing that everybody know they faking it. You ever see somebody fake it so much that they really getting laughed at by people? That shit happens in real life. Me, myself, and I'm gonna tell you like this: I don't fake it for nobody. I gotta stay me the whole time. Like my little son told me, he say, "Dad, the best thing that you've ever done was just kick back and not even worry about nonsense." I said, "Man, that's crazy." I said, "Well, how you dealing with stress at school now?" He said, "Man, stress happens when you unprepared. I stay prepared." I said, "Okay." Now that he got his, he driving and stuff, he doing his thing. Proud of my little man. Proud of my twin daughters too. They doing their thing. All my kids doing their thing. But at the end of the day, it's my job to protect them and show them that, hey, you can come talk to me about anything. I don't care where I'm at or who I'm with. I'm never going to not be the father I'm supposed to be. So I want y'all to have a great night. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll chop it up. Or we might start doing these late night combos before I go to bed. I got to get ready to go to bed. I gotta get up and go to work early in the morning. That's something some of y'all may never know nothing about. But if you do know some about it, enjoy it. Enjoy it. I pray for all of y'all. I pray God gives you everything your heart desires. But I also pray you do right by yourself. Because there's the moment where people don't do right by themselves. So how can they do right by anybody else? I'll take that and go to bed with you. Thank you for joining the Carter Podcast. Peace.